Hello and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. My name is Joris and today it's the last part of the ETFs that invest their received money into Swiss stock exchange, and now it's a bit different because it's not the big indexes that I'm going to discuss right now. It's the last two ETFs. They invest either in the SPI Select Dividend Index, which is made out of 20 stocks from the SPI with the best dividend stats. So it's it are 20 stocks from the SPI, and they really have high dividend yields. They have really nice low payout ratios. They have good earnings numbers. So really decent companies. And I think you already know which ETF it is because I'm really keen on this ETF. But the other one that I'm going to discuss is investing in the MSCI Switzerland IMI ESG index. And I mention these abbreviations now because sometimes I mention them just like that, but now it's a short video, so I can take a bit more time to go over the abbreviation. So it's the Morgan Stanley Capital International. So there used to be a firm, Capital International, that made indexes, and Morgan Stanley bought that company and transformed all those indexes into the Morgan Stanley Capital International indexes. And most of the time they have the EMI index name in it, so investable market index. And this time it's Switzerland, of course, because this series is about ETFs that invest in the SIX stock exchange. And you also have the ESG label, and that's a norm that gives values to the environmental, the social, and the governance of the company, and looks at how well they are doing, in fact, and taking care of the environment and taking care of their employees, taking care of being good managers as well, not only for their firm but also for the world. And that index comprises 23 stocks. It recently changed because it used to be 22 stocks, but now apparently it's up to 23 stocks. Sadly, I didn't look up all 23, but this time I'm going to do a little bit different than the other four videos of this series. So I'm going to give the 10 main components of the ETFs, because I think it's really important to differentiate between these two. So let's go to the first one, the one that my wife and I invest some money into to give later to our kids. So we have three daughters, and the CHDVD ETF from iShares with a total expense ratio of 0.15%. So once again, they can do it, low total expense ratios. And we we really like this ETF. So we decided to invest monthly money for our three daughters into it, and hopefully when they turn 18 they will have a nice piggy bank, and that distributes regularly nice dividends to them. And then I hope that they see that it's a really nice thing to have savings that are invested that provide you with passive income. So all hope for the future. Momentarily it cost 151.06 Swiss francs. I say momentarily, but it was on Monday, the 18th of December of 2023, of course. And it invests in the 20 stocks that are in the SPI Selective Dividend. and there is a little bit over 2 billion invested in this fund. And if you look at the performance, 24.16% over 3 years and 62.21% over 5 years, that is the top performance of all the ETFs. So I hope that they keep it up, that my daughters are happy later on. Yeah, it's not financial advice. I don't say that you have to do the same for your daughters. I believe in the companies that are here in Switzerland. They, yeah, they do a great job. Roche, Novartis, Nestle. They are also really big in the ESG department, and I still need to make a video about ESG norms, but it will come. But yeah, time is in a shortage, and time is also money, so it's not always easy to pick which video I'm going to make first. But I thought for the end of the year, making a series about ETFs that invest their money in Swiss stock exchange stocks is of course a good thing to do. So that's what I did first, and it took up quite a big chunk of time. This one, it gives 7 dividends in a year, and it's in March, April, May, and July. And as you can see, it's a high dividend yield as well. So it's the highest dividend yield that you can get investing in the 6 stock exchange ETFs. So 3.02%. And these are the 10 top companies. So Zurich Insurance, Novartis, Nestle, Roche, ABB, Holcim, Partners Group, Swiss Life, Kuehne+Nagel, and Givaudan. So, and if you look at the top five, so when you count it up, that's 30%, and that's again 28. So even with the ABB with it, it's 75% already that is taken up, or 65% that is taken up by the top 5%, the top five companies of this ETF. So they, yeah, they have a high amount, but I believe in Nestle, I believe in Roche, I believe in Novartis. So Roche is a question mark right now because their pipeline is not that big, but they bought another firm which has a nice pipeline in inside. So when they out of those products, 2 or 3 make it, Roche is on a good way. So I think they made the right choice to buy that firm, and I believe in it. So Nestle as well underperformed this year on the stock market. Roche as well, Novartis as well. But then the other ones make it up. So it was up 8% the past year. So certainly not bad. And then we go to the ESG index one. So with 23 stocks in it. Total expense ratio also not that expensive for an UBS ETF. So the cheapest one as well, 13.17. You know that I like cheap ETFs because you can start reinvesting your dividends faster when the price of the ETF is lower. And I know you need to invest the same amount to with a more or less 2.6 up to 3% dividend yield. You need to invest the same amount to receive 13.17 Swiss francs. But in this case, you can buy an extra share and start the dividend snowball faster compared to ETFs that cost 151 Swiss francs. So that it's an important thing to look at it, at least in my point of view. So momentarily there are 23 stocks in this index, but only 12 million is invested in this fund. And I think it's really awful that, okay, it's not that awful because I will come to that point, but it's an ESG based fund and the money isn't flowing in. So, okay, you see it's empty here because it started in March, the end of March, so it's only available for 9 months. But I checked 2 months ago and then it was 10 million. So in the past two months, a month and a half, only 2 million flowed into the fund. So it's not picking up speed at all. The first first 2 months, there was already 6 or 7 million invested in it. So the other months, it's more or less 1 million that flows in it each month, and that's really low. So that's a pity because it's a nice initiative of UBS to start an ETF based on this index. Because yeah, ESG it is important for the future. So, but it's not yet there, and I can also understand why it's not yet there because yeah, you don't see any performance yet, and then people are always hesitating to invest in it. And then another thing that speaks against the fund, again from UBS, only one dividend date, again on the 8th of September, two dividends being paid out on that day. The dividend yield, it is high, 2.58% for an ETF that invests on the SIX stock exchange. So not bad at all, but yeah, people that invest in ETFs, they want quarterly dividends for sure. It's nicer to have more dividends in a year from one stock that you buy. And in this case, okay, I put a question mark here, but I'm almost certain that it will be just the same as the other two UBS funds from the previous two videos that I put out. So in part 3 and part 4, it was also two funds that paid out two dividends on the 8th of September. So yeah, a pity. And when you look here, Zurich Insurance, Novartis, Nestle, Roche, they are all there. So the difference is hardly visible. But the first five, look at this, it's 30%, 43%, 52%, and then with this it's 60, so 5% less in the top five stocks here. And yeah, when you look at just ETF, it's noted here as CH12567400924, so that's the easing code, and I put it here immediately for you. So it's SGS, that is 3.68. So when you go to just ETF to check out this ETF and you see this number standing there, you know that it's SGS. So I I took some yeah, how do you say it? I did some effort to please you guys. And if you look at the table then, so CHDVD is completely on top. It has the highest 5-year yield growth, the highest 3-year growth, and also the highest dividend yield. And CHDIV, that's probably also a reason why only 12 million is invested in it right now. I also didn't include it in the table because yeah, it's still a young ETF, and yeah, I don't have references yet for 5 years and 3-year growth, so I'm definitely going to keep following this ETF and how is it is performing, because I think it's a really nice initiative from UBS, but yeah, not on the table. So if you look at this table, so there are 10 ETFs mentioned here. So if you want to check out these ETFs, go to the previous parts from this series that I made to check these ETFs out. And DXSO, I said I didn't included it, but it's of course here. So it's the XSLI or DXSO from the German stock exchanges. It's in between here 48% and 16% 3-year growth and 1.7% dividend yield, more or less. So it's not a bad ETF for European investors that have euros to invest. And one thing I need to say, I'm still annoyed that the fund of X trackers, the or is it was it iShares or X trackers? Yeah, it's really annoying that it's called SMIEX and it's actually a fund that invests in the SLI. And if you look at it, so this is the select dividend fund. These three are the SLI funds, ETF funds. Then you have the two SMIs together with this one, but that's an outlier from X trackers. Then you have the SPI ones, so SPI, 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 and then you have the mid cap one here. So yeah, it's a it's a nice table. I hope you enjoyed this series. That I helped you with getting an overview of what these ETFs that invest their money that they receive in the six stock exchange in the different indexes that you had something about it that you now have a better view on what they do, in what they invest. And with that being said, thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing and see you on the next video on my YouTube channel. Bye.